What is up, everybody? Bootman here, and we're back with another Marvel Snap video, and they just dropped the patch. I thought it was gonna be coming later today, but they just, boom, surprised us with it. So we're talking about balance changes to Shuri, to Lockjaw, to Leech, even the leader, like what? So there's a lot to go over, all right? So there's a brand new update. I wanted to go over these balance changes, discuss them with you, get some of your opinions. I wanna share some of my opinions, discuss where the meta game's going, but overall, there's gonna be some exciting changes and hopefully it shakes things up a little, all right? But before we get started, if you're new here, hi, my name is Chris. I also go by Bootman, and if you love Marvel Snap as much as I do, especially the competitive aspect, ranking up the ladder, discussing different deck and card strategies, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell. We have an amazing Discord server down in the description below. Come join, come hang out. A lot of cool people in there discussing a bunch of cool decks and all sorts of fun stuff. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ because I do monthly giveaways for the season pass. All right, I give away 3 for free every single month, but you gotta be following me on Twitter. So check down in the description below. Everything you need is right there. All right, so let's do this thing. All right, so we got the update. I'm not gonna go over all of all of the updates. I mainly want to focus on the balance changes, but real quick, there are some updates to the token shop. So now, fortunately, everybody's gonna see the brand new Series 5 card every single week in their shop. Like, thank God, all right? It's been like awful, like I know for all of you, but also us creators, because we try to get these cards the first day so we could test them out, make content for all of you, tell you if you should be spending your tokens and stuff, and some of us are waiting like days to get them, okay? They also did like a board update. I saw it, I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool. Like, it's not super different though. We also got some series drops. Hopefully all of you know that or knew that. I am getting Stature. I've been waiting for Stature forever. Like, I've been waiting for like a month. I'm like, Chris, she's downgrading. Don't get her yet. So I'm finally gonna get Stature. So look forward to some Stature videos. Like, I've said this a million times, but I really like cards that like just are able to just create something new, like, you know, especially like, you know, for me. So like this and like the ability to use cards like Black Bolt or, you know, maybe even toss in Moon Knight. I'm still iffy on that. I've seen a few different builds, but anyways, can't wait to play around with that. I've been screaming at all of you on Twitter, by the way. Listen, if you need a reason to follow me on Twitter, it's if you bought Shuri, Bast, Valkyrie, Super Skrull, or Black Panther in the last like week, 2 weeks, because I've been screaming at people nonstop, do not buy these cards, they're about to be free because they just dropped a Series 3. All right, enough of that, let's jump into the balance updates. So, developers said, in the wake of our last balance change, we saw the metagame settle into a much healthier shape than it had been before. However, we were too shallow with our adjustments on the Shuri Taskmaster decks and Lockjaw Leech shells. Both with and without Thanos have remained solid contenders. Today's changes aim to push both of those decks off their clear top spots outside of Shuri Taskmaster. The metagame is looking healthy on our internal metrics. So basically they're saying outside of Shuri Taskmaster, like a bunch of other decks looking good, looking fine. Things are like bouncing up a little bit. And that's the thing, like it's as many decks that are annoying to play against, whether it's like, you know, Galactus or Sandman or whatever, like they're not winning a ton. Like they're not like just like insanely played a ton with high win rates and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's get into the Shuri change. So the new card reveals if you play your next card here, double its power. All right, so this is interesting. All right, so here's some of their logic behind it. We considered a number of changes to Shuri, but they all tended to ruin her current decks. Some even theoretically risk making a new monster with different parts. That's not a great risk to run when balancing a problematically strong card. The change we're making may seem small and subtle, but we expect it to be impactful and retain the same flow of play for her existing decks, which is a consistent goal in our balance philosophy. This nerf removes Cosmo's protective capacity for her target, makes single card answers like Valkyrie easier to aim, and indirectly buffs lane control elements like Professor X. We're taking a risk here in that this nerf could leave Shuri still a strength outlier. If so, we'll react quickly. All right, so like they're aware, and they made it so you cannot just like put your next card behind Red Skull. So like the thing I've been running into a lot, maybe you have too, but this is why I want to start using Ghost, is a lot of people float turn 5. All right, so I'm trying to think, and maybe I need to see it in action. I don't play Shuri decks, but like, yeah, like this is probably going to be the same result with whatchamacallit, She-Hulk Taskmaster on turn 6, which is infuriating. It's very annoying as well, right? So I'm trying to play that out of my head. I'm not gonna waste my time in here, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how this change goes. I think this is great. Also, like, yeah, like you can use things like Arrow, you know what I mean, still, so we'll see. And here's the thing, I've noticed that Shuri's been played a lot less, and I think it's because people realize Valkyrie does exist, you know, although Valkyrie doesn't go past Cosmo, like, so this is gonna make Valkyrie a lot stronger, all right? So anyways, Leech. They have changed Leech to, at the start of turn 6, remove all abilities from cards in your opponent's hand. Ooh, so it's never been our goal for Leech to be a heavily played card, and we understand that's been a frustration lately. When it's happening, it usually means finisher is generically strong against pure power, like Leech Leader, and or a deck can play Leech earlier than turn 5 too often, like Thanos Lockjaw. We've tried in the past to weaken stronger cards in those decks, but it's been a balance and design obstacle. Thus, we've decided to remove the early Leech from the equation. Leech is designed to counter some powerful in-game cards and combinations from a unique angle without any setup, which is important to have around in the event of those decks begin to overperform. This change should lead him to fulfill that role when necessary without ever making him a foundational piece of the metagame. So yeah, so like here's the thing, like I'm totally cool with this. Like I've been saying, like ever since they nerfed the hell out of Leader, I've been like, I've changed my opinion on nerfing cards, because I understand, like the common response about Leech was like, listen, Leech is a safety valve. It is a safety valve for other crazy things that can happen on turn 6. So I'm like, I don't know what you do to Leech, but make sure he still fulfills that role, because my fear is that you will create a new monster, right? So I like this. So even if you were to cheat out Leech early, it's only gonna affect things on turn 6. So that's what he was there for. That's all it is. Cool. Some of us were talking about Leech changes where it would just be on the next turn or whatever. So like, I guess this is cool too, just because in case they do Lockjaw Leech out, like on, you know, turn 4 or whatever that is, it still won't take an effect until turn 6. And that gives you some opportunity to play around it, right? Kind of like we're already playing with Leech. Like when you see like a time stone drop on turn 3, like you dump your cards, right? You're like, okay, what do I gotta get like my Darkhawk out there or whatever it is, like something with an ability, I need to get it out now. So this like lets you play around it even more because there's no more guessing, you know what I mean? All right, Lockjaw. Didn't even think Lockjaw was gonna be on this list. So the update to Lockjaw, after you play a card here, swap it with a card in your deck, parentheses, once per turn. All right, so I don't think I mentioned this, but I already went through these notes beforehand, so maybe you guys can help me out in the comments below. Because I think people are overthinking this, or maybe I'm overthinking this, and it's very simple. So anyways, Lockjaw's a fun and exciting card, but each trigger of this good boy basically draws a card and generates up to 6 at random. That's a lot of variance to have in multiple competitive decks. As we add cards, new and improved ways to sidestep Lockjaw's risk will also become available. Oh, so that's kind of interesting. Since we believe the most powerful and frustrating use of Lockjaw is triggering him multiple times in a turn, often with a snap along the way, we're changing that. Limiting Lockjaw to one swap each turn forces a player to develop their own board without letting them sprint ahead or spring a late surprise. This will make Lockjaw simpler to play against and less potent in decks incidentally playing lots of cheap cards like Thanos. So like, it's interesting, like a couple seasons ago, I used Thanos Lockjaw to get to Infinite played a lot of it and stuff, and the way that the Space Stone was there and you can move things out was very, very powerful, but now that they changed the Space Stone, it was less powerful. Like, my thing about Lockjaw, like, I don't play Lockjaw. I don't like Lockjaw. You guys, I've made a million videos ranting about Lockjaw, but one of the Lockjaw's weaknesses, in my opinion, is that, okay, say I play 3 stones in a Lockjaw, right? On turn 4, just boop, dump 3 1-cost stones right in a Lockjaw. I just filled up my lane. There's nothing else I could do. Lockjaw pulled all of my huge things, right? And then Shang-Chi just comes in there and blows him up on turn 6. Like, I don't know. For me, I didn't have a problem with this. Like, it seems like an offensive thing for a card to do, but for me, I'm just like, whatever. You know, it's luck, it's randomness. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments below down on your thoughts. But yeah, I am reading that correctly. I was like, am I misreading it? No. You could use it once per turn. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So the rest of these on these lists, you know, including Lockjaw, were a surprise to me. So America Chavez, they changed her to starts on the bottom of your deck, draw this on turn 6. That's crazy. So something that's not mentioned in here, let's talk and then we'll say what's not mentioned in here, okay? Previously, if you were about to draw America Chavez, you would just draw her as your next card instead. This means that over the course of the game, she's a lot more likely to be the top card of your deck. Thus far, this has been largely unimportant outside of Yondu. Oh, they do mention it. So yeah, my whole thing is like, yeah, Yondu like hits her like 90% of the time. But it does restrict our ability to print cards that interact with the top card of your deck. We expect this update to have little impact on Chavez's functionality overall. So yeah, not a huge change. But this next one's interesting. Jubilee. They changed her to, on reveal, add the top card of your deck to this location. What? All right, so some of our players may remember a time where Jubilee had this ability. I remember that, I wasn't in the beta. Back then, Jubilee would often be a 4/10, as she'd pull America Chavez very consistently. We decided at the time to change ability's effect instead of Chavez's, as the former was a much similar change to communicate. However, we're looking to design cards that interact with the top of your deck in the future. So we're bringing this design back too. We expect this update to have little impact on Jubilee for the time being. So it's interesting because like the devs can't officially discuss what we already know, and those are data leaks, all right? So go look it up. Bunch of people have covered it. Brad Siffer and I talked about it 2 episodes ago, but the leaked cards. And it's going to be next season in the Guardians of the Galaxy season, but we're getting Howard the Duck and Iron Lad. Both of those cards interact with the top card of your deck. Howard the Duck, his ability, I believe, is you like touch him. Like I think you can like press on him and it reveals the top card of your deck. And I believe Iron Lad copies, I might be wrong, I'd have to look at it again, but I believe he copies the ability or power or something like that of the top card of your deck. So this is cool that they're like looking at these different interactions and synergies. All right, so last up, for all you big green-headed punk lovers, looks like they're trying to fix your boy Leader. All right, so they have brought him back to a 6/2. On reveal, copy the enemy card Z with the highest power played this turn, but on your side. We were clearly too harsh on Leader with this previous nerf, and we're dismayed that action became a go-to example for how ruinous a nerf can be. Our balanced philosophy is to preserve as much playability as we reasonably can when weakening cards, and we didn't succeed here previously, no. But I'll tell you what, Leader was always the most surprising thing. Like, man, as stressful as like climbing the ladder can be and stuff, when someone would just randomly beat me with Leader, I would just break out into a laughing fit. Like, it was the last thing I explained, just boom, card copied to the right. I'm like, what? But anyways, with this change, we're aiming to bring his strength back up to a playable spot for a 6-cost card, but still avoid the oppressive impact this original form had. We have erred on the cautious side with his power for now because some previous defenses against the original Leader, such as playing weaker cards before a strong one, no longer apply. So this is gonna be interesting. Like, I don't know, I'm curious to see how much he comes back into the meta. So now I'm wondering, so this just popped in my head. So it says copy the enemy cards with the highest power. So remember with the Shuri one where I was talking about people float turn 5 and then they just do She-Hulk Taskmaster. Would Leader prevent that? I don't know if he would, because Taskmaster would just copy. Is that how it worked? I never played Leader. I played Leader just a little bit, but I never liked it. I was so furious with that card, poor ignorant younger Chris, right? So I don't know. Will that help with the turn 6 She-Hulk Taskmaster? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, but anyways, those are the updates. I'm pretty excited. I've been playing a lot of other games lately, like Legends of Runeterra, just some console games and stuff like that, just because it's been very stale. Couple things. I know, I've seen a lot of people be excited, but your boy Chris, he predicts stuff. I predict stuff. And within 24, 48 hours, people are going to be screaming about Galactus and Sandman again. I think a lot of people are going to be very, very upset that Galactus, at least, is not on this list. So stay tuned. I've just seen people saying they're going to uninstall, they're going to quit playing, and da-da-da-da-da. For me, Galactus, it's obvious. If you don't have a counter, just leave, keep it moving. Go on to the next one. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe, ring that notification bell, join our Discord server, follow me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ, because if you follow me on Twitter, you can enter our monthly giveaway for the season pass. Like I said, next pass is Guardians of the Galaxy, and we get Nebula as a season pass card. And I'll be keeping an eye out, because usually with these patch updates, we get some data mines, get some new info. So keep an eye out for that. I sometimes cover them, sometimes don't. We'll see. But anyways, that's all I got for you. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.